What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me going over the Rising of the Shield Hero collaboration and the best gear sets for each character from the collab. If you guys enjoy videos like this, man, definitely make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, as I'm going to be posting a ton of Rising of the Shield Hero related collab content in the next week or so, guys, throughout this week. And yeah, we're going to be covering all of that throughout the time. So let's hop in and let's actually go over the best gear sets for each of the characters, my reasoning for why I think those are going to be the best gear sets. And yeah, we're going to be covering all of that in this video. So starting with the two new units, guys, let's start with Glass and Victoria. So the thing is with these two characters, Glass and Victoria, I think they are very DPS oriented, guys. That is one thing I will know about these characters off the rip. And I think that if you are going to use them in PvE related content, then I definitely do think that an attack crit damage set is going to make a lot of sense. Now, the thing is with attack crit damage, guys, this is only going to be recommended, as I mentioned, for PvE related content. Now, in terms of the actual gear themselves, we're going to be rocking the 4-set attack and the 2-set critical damage. Now, I always like to make my gear in this manner where, you know, I have the 4-set on the top and the bottom, and then the 2-set is going to be in the middle. And the main reasoning for that is just in case I use this character in, you know, other content in the game, specifically like Heroes Arena, or, you know, content that requires you to have specific middle piece gear like critical defense or critical resistance. That's why I like to run, you know, my gear in this manner. But it's really up to you guys. You don't have to make it in this manner the way I do it. But yeah, for PvE content for Victoria and for Glass, I'm definitely going to recommend attack crit damage, guys. You know, these characters do have a lot of built-in, you know, stuff to be, you know, kind of making themselves tanky in PvE. You know, when I was using Victoria in the Demonic Beast battles, which I will be having videos kind of released throughout this week, you know, she's really good because she already has a ton of stats, you know, to keep her alive, right? She's getting the critical defense for the unknown race allies. You know, she's gonna have the all stats per unknown race ally in the battle. So, you know, obviously that's gonna, you know, go to all her defense related stats or HP related, you know, and even her damage as well. And then yeah, if we look at all the things she's gonna be getting, you know, providing crit chance for the team, you know, giving them damage dealt flood, which is really strong. You know, the sharp talents are going to ignore the enemy's critical resistance, and then she's going to get a really big bonus when she does gain Queen Strike. So I think attack crit damage for the most part in PvE related content, guys, is going to be the way to go. You definitely want to be doing damage counts with Victoria whenever we're doing Demonic Beast related content, or even just at general PvE. I think attack crit damage is going to make a lot of sense for a character like Victoria, and the exact same thing kind of goes with Glass. I think she's in the same, you know, kind of field where she's really meant to deal a ton of damage, and that's what we're kind of going with these characters, guys. You know, Glass right here in PvE is going to be very tanky. She's getting a bunch of basic stats for every unknown race ally participating in battle as well. And then the soul powers when she's using single targets, and when the allies do single targets for her, she's going to gain those soul powers so that when she does her single targets themselves, they're going to be hitting very hard. So it's kind of like a traitor melee, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a traitor melee. You do, you know, single target, and then you would attack with him, right? Stuff like that, right? So yeah, Glass is going to be a very strong character as well, and in my opinion, if you are going to be rocking her in PvE related content, guys, we're going to be going with an attack crit damage set just like that. So yeah, guys, now moving away from PvE related content for Glass and Victoria, what gear should you guys be running? In my opinion, for that setup, guys, is actually going to be HP defense. So the thing is with Glass and Victoria in PvP is that they are very high CC characters. I definitely do think that you're going to want to be using these characters on high CC related teams, and when you're running unknown team doesn't really have crazy high CC. So having Glass and Victoria being characters that are inherently high CC characters is going to really help, with HP defense being the highest CC gear set you can make, right? So HP defense, for you guys that don't know, is going to be the 4-set HP, 2-set defense, and I'm going to have it in the exact same manner as I would, you know, the attack crit damage set, just in case I want to swap the middles, as I mentioned, for Heroes Arena, or, you know, for a critical defense, critical resistance, depending on the content, guys. So yeah, just bear that in mind. So for the regular gear rolls, guys, on both, you know, Victoria and Glass are going to be attack, defense, and HP. Just your standard basic stat rolls. And the main reasoning for that is because the basic stat rolls is going to provide the most amount of CC for these characters. And I definitely do think that, you know, when using them, they're going to be working really well with basic stats for their scaling. So obviously their attack, defense, and HP. So yeah, that's going to be the best gear sets for Glass and Victoria, guys, of the new characters. Let's actually hop in and discuss the original 4 characters now that we've kind of discussed the newer ones. So Kizuna is the first, you know, original original character we had from the Rising of the Shield Hero collaboration. In my opinion, guys, the best gear set for Kizuna is going to be an HP defense set. Now, you don't have to have it in this manner the way I have it for Kizuna right here. This is just my my Gelda offset UR gear, so we could swap it to, you know, like glass, I guess, and we'll have it in this manner again. But pretty much, guys, the main reason we are rocking Kizuna on this HP defense set is because she's going to be a support character in the game. Support characters, I always love to write to run PvE specifically HP defense, because they're made to survive as long as possible so that your DPS characters gain the benefits of the support, right? So for Kizuna specifically, in PvE, increase own skill ranks and remove debuffs from allies if the hero damages an enemy with a skill during the ally's turn. And then for her Holy Relic, increases all allies attack related stats by 30% for 2 turns if the hero's skill ranks up, which is really powerful, because that means Kizuna does 1 attack, it's going to rank up her buff card, and it's going to, you know, give attack related stats 30% to the team. So the longer Kizuna stays alive, and giving her that HP defense set in PvE related content to keep her alive longer is going to benefit the team, because the DPSs are going to be still hitting super hard, and she's not going to really falter in terms of, you know, taking a ton of damage. So again, guys, the exact same setup as the Glass and Vittoria in terms of HP defense. You're going to be rocking the attack, defense, and HP, you know, basic stat rolls. You know, those are going to be my recommended ones as well. And yeah, that is pretty much the gear set for Kizuna, mainly because she's a supportive character, guys. We're going to be going with the HP defense. Alrighty, guys, now moving on to Philo here. What is going to be the best setup for Philo in my opinion? Now, what I'm going to run in PvE related content for Philo is going to be attack crit damage, guys. And the main reasoning for that is because Philo is a very good farming unit. You know, she has AoE weak point, and that's, you know, a lot of value that I see out of this character because of that. With her passive, now that it's been updated, she actually decreases critical resistance and crit defense of all enemies for every started turn that she starts with, right, by 30%, guys. So she's gonna instantly have the weak point damage available. She doesn't have to apply a debuff on the enemy, she already has it. And so every time she's gonna be spamming this weak point card, it's gonna be pretty much wiping the entire field. And so I definitely do think for at least PvE related content, because, you know, I don't really know if people are going to be really using Philo like that in PvP, but for PvE, attack crit damage is going to be the way to go, man. You want to kill, you know, as fast as possible, and I usually use Philo in, you know, farming content, guys. The weak point AoE is always going to be, you know, something you want to run in farming related content, because weak point just hits super hard and it's AoE, right? Specifically this one right here for Philo. So, you know, running Philo in, you know, like gold dungeon, you know, Fort Solgris, you know, event dungeon, right? You know, time limit dungeon, you got stuff like that. That's where I think Philo definitely shines, you know, in terms of PvE related content. Other than that, though, I mean, you wouldn't really get too much use out of her in other, you know, things in the game, guys. And if I was to recommend a gear set for Philo in PvP, I guess you would go with HP defense for CC, but that would be like literally the main thing, right? And the only reason you would really run HP defense other than CC would to keep her alive for this, so that, you know, Vittoria on the team can kind of hit super hard because of the, you know, critical defense, critical resistance lower. So overall, though, I think if you wanted to make a set for Philo, attack crit's going to be the way to go, because I love using this character in farming, and I think if you guys were able to give her a shot, you know, she'll be really good in that, guys. So Philo is going to be on the attack critical damage set. Now, in terms of the rolls on the gear, as you guys can see, I didn't really, like, you know, roll these pieces for Philo. The main reasoning for that was because, you know, since I am doing farming content, we don't really have to put much resources into these pieces. And honestly, I could have just ran, like, you know, I could have just put this on, or I could have just put, you know, like this piece on where it's not even leveled at all. The main thing is with Philo is that you need the attack rolls. So obviously I rolled these like really well, 14.7, 14.7, even the base stat is kind of maxed out right there. So, you know, you want to get as much attack as possible, because she's going to be, you know, doing the most amount of damage for farming. And then the critical damage 2 set is what you're going to want to have in the middle. And then obviously, again, the rolls don't matter if we're talking, you know, strictly farming. If we're talking, you know, PvE or PvP specifically, I mean, then you would definitely want to go, you know, with a standard HP defense set, you know, basic stat rolls and all of that. Like, you don't want anything, you know, other than the basic stat rolls for PvP, because it's not like she has a separate scaling. So that's what I would definitely recommend, guys. So there is Philo right there. Let's move on to the next unit. Alrighty, guys, for Raphtalia here, the best gear set we're going to be rocking for Raphtalia is going to be the triple defense set, guys. And the main reasoning for this is because Raphtalia's scaling in her passive is based on the amount of defense that she starts in the start of battle. So if we read her passive here, increases allies max HP by 300% of the hero's defense at the start of the battle, and decreases increases allies damage taken by 30%. So you want to make that max HP bonus that she's going to provide for the team as high as possible by running a triple defense set. And the thing is with Raphtalia is that, you know, now that she's not restricted to a mono blue setup team, that means that you're going to be able to use her in, you know, unknown race meta teams, and, you know, providing that extra HP is going to be very, very beneficial. So in terms of the gear that, you know, you're going to be making, a triple defense set is going to be the one you want to go with for Raphtalia specifically, guys. In terms of the rolls on the gear, you're just going to want to go with basic stat rolls. I mean, technically for these top pieces right here, you could actually run like Pierce Rate, Crit Chance, Crit Damage, because remember, Raphtalia's cards as well are scaling through defense, right? So because attack is kind of a useless stat for Raphtalia, even, you know, in PvP, I would say, like, regardless of you not running an HP defense set, you are losing a lot of CC. If you were to run Raphtalia for the maximum amount of damage she could provide, then you would definitely want to roll these with like Crit Chance, Crit Damage, or maybe Pierce, right? Just to get some, you know, extra substats in there, because attack is going to be a wasted stat, guys. You know, you're not going to gain any damage from Raphtalia from attack. It's only going to be combat class. So if you want to go with a high combat class Raphtalia, then definitely rolling for the attack rolls makes sense. But if you want to go for, you know, the max amount of support and then her being able to be a decent damage dealer as well, then you definitely want to go with, you know, Pierce Rate, Crit Chance, Crit Damage on these top two pieces right here. Now, for the middle pieces, because it is a defense scaling character, you want to have as much defense as you can. So right here, I don't have max defense, but you want to make sure that these are rolled as high as possible, guys, because you're going to be getting as much defense as possible through these middle pieces right here. So this is going to be another 2-set defense. So two-set defense here, 2-set defense here, and then a final 2-set defense at the bottom where we're going to be rocking HP percent rolls, right? So that is the idea here with Raphtalia and my recommendation for her gear set, guys. So that's going to be Raphtalia. Let's move on to the final unit of the collab. Alrighty, guys, hopping into the final character from the Shield Hero collab is going to be the main character, Naofumi. Now, in terms of Naofumi, guys, I think his best gear set actually has changed in the collaboration. When it used to be a triple defense set, it is now actually going to be an HP defense set right here, guys. And as you can see, I've already made UR gear for the character. I do see the value in Naofumi on HP defense. Now, you guys might be wondering, amazing, why are we rocking HP defense if Naofumi is a defense scaling character? And if we look at his skills, a lot of the things he's dealing damage is going to be based on his defense. Now, the main reasoning for that is because of the way he works in his passive now since the buff. So the buff that that Netmarble provided for Naofumi specifically is the fact that, you know, right here, so if the hero assumes a stance at the start of the battle, allies' basic stats will be increased by 30% of the hero's defense. Then, so this part, it was already in the kit, right? So this first top part. But this part right here, then human allies' damage dealt increases by 30%. And human allies damage reduction or damage taken decreases by 40%. So you get 30% damage dealt and 40% damage reduction, on top of the fact that he's giving 30% of his own basic stats to the team, guys, you know, based on his defense, which, you know, obviously it's not going to be as high on an HP defense set, but he's still going to be providing a very good chunk, and you get the full benefit from the damage dealt and the damage reduction, regardless of what your defense is. And then in addition, each human ally participating in the battle has their HP increased by 5%. So now Fumi's HP is going to be super, super high. It's going to be very hard to kill this character, you know, alongside getting all that damage reduction and the damage dealt he's going to be providing for the team. He's mainly going to be a supportive character to kind of just draw damage away, guys. And the thing is, if we were to run, you know, triple defense, we would get more damage technically, right? Because we are gaining, you know, more setup for his actual, you know, damaging stat. But the main thing with Naofumi is that because he now also has really, really good CC, and, you know, with a fully maxed out Naofumi, you can get like 70,000 CC. You want to go with the HP defense set so that the human team, when you run him on, you know, it's going to be really, really strong. So yeah, guys, in general though, I would recommend HP defense for Naofumi. If we actually look at the substat rolls, I have not rolled this one right here, but you want to go with full attack rolls on this piece. On the bracelet right here, again, you're going to go full attack rolls. Makes the most sense for that. But yeah, guys, for the middle pieces right here, we are going to be rocking the 2-set defense. And in terms of the rolls, guys, we're going to be going full 3% on each roll right here for defense. Specifically, again, remember, Naofumi does scale on defense. So we're going to want to, you know, kind of make those as the highest stat possible, right? You know, because he's still going to be scaling off of that for his damage. So as much defense as we can get, running an HP defense set is going to be the way to go. if we look at both these pieces here, I've completely maxed them out for my Naofumi, and it does make the most sense because that's, you know, his damage scaling, right? So we want to go with as much defense as possible, guys. And then moving on to the final set of the 4-piece, and we're going to be rocking HP rolls on these guys just so that we get, you know, as much tanking for Naofumi as possible. And I do definitely think the higher the HP, the more, you know, tanky Naofumi is going to be, and inherently your CC is also going to increase with that as well. Alrighty though, guys, that is going to be the video right there on the best gear sets for all the characters from the Rising of the Shield Hero collaboration. Those are my recommendations for the most part, guys. So let's, you know, do a recap here at the end of the video. So Victoria in PvE is going to be attack crit damage. In PvP, it's going to be an HP defense. Same with Glass, the exact same, you know, concept for those two characters, since they're both kind of DPS oriented, but they're really, you know, tanky when, you know, you're doing it in PvE. In PvP, you just want to have as much CC, and both Glass and Victoria are able to provide that, so we definitely want to go with the HP defense. Now discussing the original characters, guys, Kizuna is going to be a supportive character, so we're going to be rocking the HP defense. Philo is going to be mainly a farming character, so I like to run attack crit damage. And then for Raphtalia and Naofumi, you know, you think specifically for Naofumi you would run triple defense, but you're not actually going to do that nowadays because, you know, Naofumi is more of a supportive character, kind of like the way, you know, Kizuna is. So I actually do recommend an HP defense set for Naofumi over a triple defense, whereas Raphtalia here is full support based on her defense, right? So she is supporting based on the amount of defense she has. That's why we go full triple defense with Raphtalia, whereas Naofumi now, even though we don't go triple defense, we go HP defense, so he's still, you know, very good CC, and he's still able to dish out a ton of damage while supporting the team as well. Alrighty, guys, so that is going to be it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy, man. That is going to be the best gear setups for the Rising of the Shield Hero collab characters. Hope you guys did enjoy the video, and I'm gonna see you guys on the next one, man. Peace out and have a great rest of your day, guys. See you later, man.